Are you afraid of the dark? Do you believe in ghosts or magic? Well, if you do, then listen to this story about the village where no one ever played after sunset because it was rumored that once the sun dipped below the horizon, evil spirits would emerge from their graves and wreak havoc on the living. And deep in a forgotten forest, hidden among the twisted trees and the eternal mist, there was a cursed village. No one dared to approach after sunset, for it was said that the Midnight Coven gathered under the full moon, whispering forbidden spells and summoning shadows that did not belong to this world. A traveler who stumbled upon the village during the day might have been fooled by its eerie tranquility. The crooked houses seemed to huddle together as if sharing secrets, while the overgrown paths were littered with strange symbols that no one could decipher. But as soon as the sun began its descent, the forest surrounding the village came alive with unnatural sounds. The trees moaned and the shadows danced, creating an atmosphere of dread that made even the bravest soul turn back. One night, however, a young woman named Lucia decided to venture into the forest, despite the warnings of her friends. She wanted to uncover the truth behind the legend of the Midnight Coven. As she walked along the darkened path, the wind grew icy cold and the unnatural silence made her bones tremble. Suddenly, she emerged into a clearing and gasped in horror at the sight before her. There in the center of the clearing was a fire burning with an eerie green flame, and around it stood 7 hooded figures arranged in a circle. They were chanting in unison, their voices low and sinister. And as they chanted, the flames seemed to writhe and pulse in time with their words. Fear threatened to overwhelm Lucia, but she forced herself to remain calm. She tried to turn and flee, but her feet were rooted to the spot. Just then, one of the hooded figures turned toward her. Slowly, he raised his head and she saw his face. It was a face that should never have existed, a grotesque mask of flesh and bone, with no pupils in its eyes, and a broken smile that revealed teeth that were far too sharp and numerous. "We were expecting you," the witch hissed, and in an instant, the fire went out, leaving Lucia immersed in darkness. From that night on, no one ever saw her again. But every time the wind sweeps through the village, a faint whisper can be heard. Lucia... is still here... The end.